You're listening to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast with Wendy Johnson, episode number 68.
Welcome to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast, where women come to be inspired and motivated to become the best version of themselves and elevate the quality of their everyday. Now, here's your host, certified life coach, Wendy Johnson.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm happy to be with you. I am in St. Regis, Montana, visiting my dad, looking out at the beautiful foliage colors that are outside of his cabin, and I'm enjoying my time here, but I'm also excited to be with you today. Specifically, we will be talking about that low-grade nagging anxiety we all feel from time to time and how we can manage it so it no longer runs our lives. I'm going to share some powerful tools to help you feel more calm and in control rather than letting anxiety take the wheel. Let's get started. First, let's talk about anxiety. I'm not talking about clinical anxiety disorders like generalized anxiety disorder. If you're struggling with that, it's important to seek professional help. What I want to focus on today is that low-level anxiety we all feel. I thought today would be a good day to share some helpful tips and scenarios to be able to manage anxiety. I want to normalize anxiety and how we all feel it. Maybe it creeps up when you're about to give a presentation, or when life feels overwhelming, or when you're just scrolling through social media at night. This kind of anxiety comes from our primitive brain, the part of us wired for survival. It thinks it's protecting us, but in today's world, it often misfires, making us feel anxious when we're not really in danger. The good news, we don't have to resist the anxiety or let it control us. Today, I'm going to share some tools that will help you manage it instead. Let's get real for a moment. When most of us feel anxious, our first instinct is to avoid it, right? We don't want to feel that discomfort, so we look for ways to escape. Maybe we reach for a snack when we're not hungry, scroll mindlessly on social media, or pour ourselves a drink at the end of a long day. And all while these things might give us temporary relief, they don't address the root of anxiety. In fact, they often make us feel worse in the long run. I'm going to walk you through a few real-life examples to show what this looks like. And we'll talk about how to stop avoiding anxiety and start allowing it. Here's a classic scenario. Let's say you're feeling anxious before a social event. So instead of facing the anxiety, you distract yourself by endlessly scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. What's happening here is that you're avoiding the anxiety by focusing on something else. And it doesn't make the anxiety go away. It just suppresses it temporarily. And often we turn off our phones. The anxiety is still there. So how can we handle this differently? One tool I love is grounding. When you feel that anxiety creeping in, pause, take a deep breath, and notice what's happening in your body. Where do you feel the tension? Is it in your chest, your stomach? Rather than trying to escape it, be curious about it. This helps us stay present and allows this feeling to move through us rather than getting stuck. Here's another example. You've had a stressful day at work, and now you're home feeling anxious. Instead of addressing that anxiety, you find yourself in the kitchen reaching for a snack, even though you're not really hungry. What's going on here? You're using food to soothe your anxiety, but after the snack, you probably don't feel any better. You might even feel worse. Next time this happens, try a different approach. Instead of eating, grab a journal and write down what you're feeling. What's causing the anxiety? Often putting those feelings into words helps take away some of their power. Or what you can do is go for a quick walk. Moving your body can be a great way to process emotions like anxiety. So, what's the key here? It's about allowing anxiety instead of resisting it. When we try to push it away or distract ourselves, the anxiety usually comes back stronger. But when we allow it to be there without judgment, we give it the space it needs to leave on its own. Think of anxiety like a passenger in your car. It can sit in the back seat, but it doesn't have to be in the driver's seat. You can acknowledge it, even give it a nod or a name, but you're still in control of where you're going. I want to give you one more example. Let's say you're feeling anxious about your finances. It's that constant worry in the back of your mind. And instead of dealing with it, you find yourself having a glass of wine or two at night to unwind. While that wine may help you relax in the moment, it doesn't solve the underlying issue. The next time you feel that financial anxiety, try something different. Maybe it's sitting down to create a budget so you feel more in control. Or maybe it's practicing deep breathing to calm your nervous system. Whatever the approach, the goal is to face the anxiety head on rather than avoiding it. Now let's talk about some practical tools that you can start using today to manage anxiety. These are techniques that help you stay present, calm your nervous system, and allow the anxiety to pass through you rather than controlling your actions. I'll walk you through each one of the tools. The first tool is mindful breathing. This is one of the most effective techniques, and it's called the 4-7-8 method. Here's how it works. You inhale through your nose for a count of 4 seconds. Hold that breath for 7 seconds. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. It's the 4-7-8 technique. This specific pattern of breathing helps calm your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that helps you rest and relax. When you're feeling anxious, your breath often becomes shallow and fast, and it's in your upper chest. This signals to your brain that you're in danger, even if you're not. By slowing down your breathing in this way, you're essentially telling your brain, everything is okay. I'm safe. The best part, you can do this anywhere, whether you're in the middle of a meeting, at home, or about to walk into a social situation. Try repeating it 4 to 5 cycles to feel your body relax. That's the 4-7-8 method. The second tool I want to share with you is a grounding exercise called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Anxiety often pulls us into our minds. making us focus on future what ifs that make us feel overwhelmed. Often those what ifs are negative. This exercise helps bring you back into the present moment by engaging your senses. Here's how it works. First, name 5 things you can see around you. Take a moment to really look around you and notice colors, shapes, and details, and name 5 things that you see. Then name 4 things you can touch and begin to touch 4 things. And what you're doing is focusing on the textures and how they feel against your skin. Next, notice 3 things you can hear, whether it's birds chirping outside, a fan humming, or distant traffic, for example. After that, pay attention to 2 things you can smell. It could be the scent of coffee, fresh air, or even something subtle in the room you're in. And lastly, notice 1 thing you can taste. Maybe it's a lingering taste from the last meal you ate, or it's even the taste of your own breath. This 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique is powerful because it anchors you back to the present moment. Anxiety loves to live in the past or the future, but this tool helps pull you out of that anxious spiral and back into here and now. Tool number 3 is self-compassion. This is about practicing self-compassion with yourself. This one is so important because anxiety can often lead to self-criticism. We beat ourselves up for feeling anxious, thinking, what's wrong with me? I need to be fixed. I shouldn't be feeling this way. But remember, anxiety is normal. It's a normal human experience. Instead of judging yourself, try to treat yourself like you would a friend who's feeling anxious. You wouldn't say, what's wrong with you? Instead, you might say, it's okay. I'm here for you. This is hard because you're doing your best. That's essentially the nutshell of self-compassion, offering yourself kindness in moments of struggle. A simple way to practice this is by placing your hand on your heart and silently saying to yourself, this is a moment of anxiety. Anxiety is a part of life, of being human. I am being kind to myself in this moment while I'm experiencing anxiety. When you acknowledge your anxiety with compassion, you'll find it softens instead of intensifying. It's when we're hard on ourselves and being mean to ourselves when anxiety stays with us. The 4th tool is setting boundaries with technology, particularly around overscrolling. We've all been there scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook for hours, thinking it'll help us relax. But often it does the opposite, especially if we're already anxious. Social media can trigger comparison, fear of missing out, and information overload, all of which can heighten anxiety. A great way to manage this is by setting clear boundaries. Here, I want to share a few ideas. Schedule tech-free times during your day, maybe during meals or the first hour after waking up. Set a timer before you start scrolling. That way you can be mindful about how much time you spend. Another way is to create a no phone zone, like the bedroom or during certain activities. When you consciously limit your screen time, you're protecting your mental space. and giving yourself more opportunities to truly be able to relax and recharge. And the fifth tool. The last tool is one we often overlook, but it's incredibly effective: exercise. You don't need a full workout routine to experience the benefits. Just moving your body for 10 minutes can make a big difference. When you exercise, your brain releases endorphins, which are natural mood boosters. Physical activity also reduces the level of stress hormones like cortisol, helping to lower anxiety levels. Here's the key: find an activity you enjoy. It could be as simple as taking a walk around the block, dancing to your favorite song, or doing a few stretches in the morning. The goal isn't to overexert yourself, but to give your body an outlet for the nervous energy that often accompanies anxiety. Plus, moving your body helps shift your focus away from the racing thoughts in your head and back into the present moment. I want to wrap up now. Each of these tools, mindful breathing, grounding exercises, self-compassion, setting boundaries with technology, and exercise, can help you manage anxiety as it arises. The key is to practice them regularly or when you're not feeling anxious. That way, when anxiety does show up, you're already equipped with tools that help you allow it rather than resist it. Remember, anxiety is normal, but it doesn't have to control your life. It's a passenger, not the driver. With these tools, you can move toward greater calm and peace. Thank you for joining me today on The Extraordinary Everyday. I hope these tips help you feel more empowered in your journey toward freedom from anxiety. Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes like this and share it with someone who might need these tools too. Take care and remember, you're doing an amazing job just by being here. Until next time, I'm Wendy Johnson. Stay extraordinary, and I look forward to next week with you. Bye-bye. Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, you have to come check out More You, my community of like-minded women. We show up to create the highest version of ourselves and elevate the quality of our everyday along the way. Head over to ontracklifecoaching.com/join. That's ontraclifecoaching.com/join. I'd love to see you in there. And if you haven't grabbed your copy of the Mindset Makeover, head over to ontracklifecoaching.com/makeover and get a copy that teaches and inspires you to show up as your most extraordinary self.